Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. We're going to get started here in just a minute, unpacking the new SEO formula for plumbing and HVAC contractors, 2019. Trying to update this every year because the Google algorithm's constantly changing. What's working with SEO or not working with SEO is constantly changing. So I'm really excited to unpack some of the new things, make sure that you're on the cutting edge, you know what's coming up, you're prepared to really rank as well as possible for the most important plumbing, HVAC, home service related key terms in your market. All right, well, welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us on today's session. We're going to be unpacking the new 2019 SEO formula for plumbing and HVAC contractors, really kind of helping to make sure you're on the cutting edge, you know what's going on and how you can put your best foot forward to rank for the most important plumbing, HVAC, home service, electrical related key terms in your market. And this is part of our 2019 Internet Marketing Plan series. So at the beginning of the year, we kind of laid the foundation. What's the big picture? What are the goals? How do we break that down? And then what do you need to do to really make that a reality? We kind of unpacked the digital dominance method, right? Everything from getting your website set up, making sure it's built to convert, to how to optimize for the search engines and everything in between. And throughout the course of the year, we're going to be going deep on each of these 7 or 8 key areas for really dominating your online marketplace and generating as many leads as possible. And so this session is going to be all around the SEO piece. How do you rank organically? How do you build your authority so that you can get those organic calls coming into your plumbing or HVAC business? So I'm just going to ask some ground rules here. You know, this is a live webinar. You're here with me. We've got a great group, both in the Zoom and on Facebook. So I'm glad to have you here. But I'm going to ask that you give this your undivided attention, right? Turn off the cell phone, turn off Facebook, turn off the extra tabs unless you're watching on Facebook. And if you're really serious about getting better results online, maximizing your SEO, the best thing you can do right now is just be laser focused on this particular presentation. So just shut everything down, give this your undivided attention. I'll give you 110%. You give me 110%. Let's make it interactive. So, I'll ask for feedback. I'll ask for volunteers. If you could just kind of pop your comments into the comments box or into the Facebook bubble, and we'll make this an interactive conversation. So here's what I want to cover today. I'm going to talk about the latest changes with the Google algorithm. Google's constantly changing things up. So we're just going to talk about some of the latest changes. The things that you might have put in place in the past that could actually still be hurting you. This is, some of the biggest changes happened about 2 years ago. Obviously, there's things that have happened just in the last couple of days with the core algorithm update. But as I look at plumbing HVAC contractors across the country, there's a couple of little gotchas that I'm seeing again and again. And there's things that were put in place years ago because it used to work and they don't work anymore. So I'm going to be kind of unpacking that in depth and making sure that you're aware, oh man, this is probably hurting me now. And either you or somebody on your team or a company like ours can help you go and fix that so that you can rank where you need to. And then we're really going to unpack how to optimize your website for 2019 using the new SEO formula. So a lot to cover. Just in case you don't know who I am, my name is Josh Nelson. I'm the founder and CEO of Plumbing and HVAC SEO. I'm the author of a couple books on internet marketing for plumbing and HVAC. The most popular, How to Triple Your Sales by Getting Your Internet Marketing Right, a very case study based book. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm an active member of PHCC, QSC, Nexstar, Service Roundtable, ACCA. I've spoken at a lot of the industry events. A lot of my articles are published in publications like Plumbing and Mechanical, Contractor Magazine, and I would say more important than any of that stuff, though, is I've had the opportunity to work now with hundreds of plumbing and HVAC contractors throughout the country in very competitive markets and have been able to see a lot of them go from virtual obscurity online where they didn't have a good online presence, they weren't ranking, they weren't generating a lot of leads, to now where they're the dominant player in their market. Lots of them getting hundreds of calls every single month. Many of them seeing over $1 million increase in revenue as a direct result of getting their internet marketing right. So what I shared, what I kind of teach on these webinars isn't based on something I read. It's not based on theory. It's based on me and my team's experience working with plumbing and HVAC companies just like you and really figuring out what works, what doesn't, and what moves the needle. And, this is what we do. It's not just me. I've got a great team of 30 full-time employees at our office here in South Florida, bricks and mortar. We work exclusively with plumbing and HVAC contractors throughout the country. And this is what we do. We eat, sleep, drink, and are passionate about this stuff. Our mission as a company right now is to triple the size of 1,000 plumbing and HVAC companies over the next 10 years. And so part of that is sharing this information. Part of that is kind of unpacking what we do and kind of sharing that passion. And, if as we go through this process, you think, what, I'd like to have Josh and his team look at my stuff, or I'd like to have Josh and his team kind of implement this for me, we'd love the opportunity to sit down with you one-on-one, do an evaluation, and kind of show you, either things are great or, here's where things can be improved. So that's not the only purpose of this presentation. Obviously, I'm going to unpack the key information for you so that if you decide to do it on your own, you're armed, you're informed, you and your team can go execute. But if you'd like that help, we'd love the opportunity to talk with you. And so, you've got my contact information here on this slide. You can reach out to us via email. You can call our office. We'd love the opportunity to chat. All right, so let's dive in. Before we can really talk about the new SEO formula, we have to kind of check in. 2019, the Google algorithm is changing. The search results are changing. Does SEO even matter anymore, right? Is it even important? With Google local service ads at the top and pay-per-click advertising taking up more and more space, is it even relevant? Is it even worth thinking about or working on? And so, if you run a search right now, like we just type in Denver plumber, the fact is Google is moving more towards paid search. And if you look at on a mobile phone, it's almost like you got to scroll a couple of times to even get to the organic results. And so, really the question that you probably are asking yourself and others are thinking is, should we even invest energy in SEO? And I've said in a couple of presentations where kind of the thought leadership was, don't even bother with SEO, focused on paid search, focused on Google local service ads, and that's enough to end the day. And so I was like, man, I got to go revisit the numbers on this. I pulled up, we've got about 190 plumbing and HVAC contractors that we work with at some level. So we've got access to their analytics. We've got access to their call tracking. So I was like, let me just kind of revisit my assumptions, right? We're a full service digital marketing agency. We do SEO, pay-per-click, social media, the whole 9 yards. But a big piece of it is SEO. SEO is in our name. So let me revisit the assumptions. Let me kind of see if this is still what we should be focused on. And what I found is, even today, 2019, when someone runs a search, 71% of the clicks are still going to the map listings. They're still going to the organic listings. And to further that, 67% of the clicks go to the first 5 listings. So that's the top of the 3-pack and the 2 listings directly below that, 67%. And so the fact is, yes, SEO still matters. Yes, things have changed. Yes, you should be playing in the pay-per-click game. Yes, you should be diversifying your marketing strategy, but you cannot sleep on search engine optimization. That's still where the lion's share of your customers wind up clicking. And I posted a couple questions here in the kind of lead up to the session, asking, how much of your business comes from the internet, how much of it comes from SEO, and there was a number of people saying, look, most of our business comes from SEO. And I'll just kind of ask you this. I'll kind of put this out to you before we kind of dive in. When you run a search for a provider, let's say someone to cut your grass, or someone to come clean the house, or someone to do a roofing repair, do you tend to click on the paid listings at the very top, or do you still kind of scroll down even in your mobile device and look at the organic listings and potentially click on the map listings where you've got the reviews next to the listings? Love to hear from you guys. A couple of you in the comments. Just statistically speaking, we've got 90 or so people on with us. So Melinda clicks the top listings. Okay, so there you go. Love to hear from you guys. This is a good statistical analysis here. Okay, so Corey says he clicks on the organic. Like I said, guys, I want to try and keep this interactive, so kind of play along with me. Hans says he clicks on the not the ads. Doug says he clicks on the maps. Manuel, organic. David, maps. John, okay, now you guys are responding. Thank you very much. Organic. I clicked the organic. I'll kind of pull this over for you. So this is just, I looked at the data. I looked at a number of reports. This is what I heard. I know when I search, I click on the organic listings. Every time I speak in an event, say, who clicks on the organic versus the paid? And we can see statistically, we got, let's say 90 or so people on the call. The vast majority go organic. So my point is, don't sleep on organic, right? There's people clicking on these organic non-paid listings. And so I want to kind of share a case study for this. So one of the companies we work with is the Meridian Company, and they're based in East Lansing, Michigan. They serve the greater Lansing area. And we've placed a big emphasis on getting their website optimized, making sure that it's ranking for the most important key terms in their area. So if we Google search like East Lansing plumber, East Lansing drain cleaning, East Lansing water heater repair, East Lansing heating contractor, they come up in that top 5 or 6 listings for the most part. That obviously is important. But really what I want to show you is if we look at their internet marketing strategy as a whole, they generate about 495 leads a month via the internet. And that comes from SEO, pay-per-click, social media, a little bit of display advertising. So if you take their total investment in online marketing, it's about $6,112 per month. Divide that out, they're averaging about $12 per lead across SEO and pay-per-click, which is really pretty good. They're in a smaller market. Now, if we drill down on that, we can see 208 of those come from organic. So they clicked on an organic listing, and 150 came from the Google Map listings, that 3-pack that comes up with the phone number and the reviews. So a full 358 of their leads from their internet marketing strategy came from organic, right? That's 72% from organic, and they have a pretty diversified marketing strategy. We get a pretty solid budget in paid search, pretty solid budget in display advertising, aggressive with social media and email marketing. But if they weren't focused on organic, if they weren't ranking in the top 6 or 7 results for the most important keywords in their area, they'd be leaving almost 358 leads a month on the table. So I hope I've hammered home the importance here. Yes, things are changing. Yes, the algorithm is moving more towards serving paid results, and Google wants to get paid for their clicks and paid for their leads, but still a lot of leads are coming in via the organic listings. And so you can't rely on paid search alone. I love paid search. I believe in it. I think you can really have something to scale your spend up, but you can't fall asleep on organic. So let's unpack this. Let's talk about some of the changes that have happened in the Google algorithm and in the way that SEO strategies have shifted over the years that you need to be aware of. Because like I said earlier, there's a lot of things that worked in the past that people put in place that are actually like totally contrary to what Google is telling you to do, and more than that, are actually bringing your website down. So the first is you really can't get away with duplicate content anymore. So for a long time, when we looked at your SEO strategy for a plumbing, HVAC, home service related company, you wanted to make sure you had pages for the services, pages for the cities that you serve. So like 10 city pages, 15 or 20 service pages. In order to do that, you could kind of just like grab content that you found on the internet about drain cleaning, content you found on the internet about trenchless sewer replacement, and put it into your website with your geo modifier, with your city. And then on your city pages, you can make like one good city page. Let's say I'm in Miami. So let's say you have a Miami page, and then you want to like rank in the surrounding areas. So you create a Doral page and a Hialeah page and a Kendall page, a Miami Beach page. Kind of stick with me on this example. And for a long time, you could just say, okay, I'm going to take that one page I made from Miami, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm just going to change the city from Miami to Kendall to Hialeah to Palmetto Bay, right? And then I had pages that were in Google with a different title tag, with a different H1 tag, targeting the city that I wanted to go after. And for a long time, that was a good play and that worked really well, but you really can't get away with that anymore. Like that now is highly frowned on. As a matter of fact, as we look at companies that are struggling with their search results, when they've invested big in SEO, like they've invested in having these pages made, and they've invested in link building, and they've invested in authority development, a lot of times it's that duplicate content that's bringing them down. And so what really needs to be done in that case is just to go back and delete the pages that are unnecessary. A lot of times, SEO contractors get like so granular with their keyword targeting, they wind up with hundreds of superfluous pages that never really got indexed, that never really even serve a purpose. And so the first phase is to let's weed out the pages that are irrelevant. And then the second phase is, if it is a relevant keyword that we're targeting, let's make that content unique. Let's have a professional writer write a unique page about that. That way we've got unique content for all of our services. We've got unique content for all of our cities. And now we're kind of back in the good graces on that front. So what I want to encourage you to do is kind of look at your website, look at the pages that you have on your website, and identify, are we using the same content across the site? And if so, that's a big gotcha that should be looked at. The second big thing that has changed is a lot of us have bad links pointed back to our website, and that can really hurt us. There was a time where it was just about the links, right? Like kind of the mantra for SEO going back into the early 2000s to 2010, 2015, the mantra was, he who has the most links wins, right? And so you could get literally links from anywhere, links from international sites, links from what we call PBN networks, private blog networks, links from irrelevant websites back to our website, back to our homepage, back to our city pages, back to our service pages. And that used to work. But as Google started to clean things up and started to really prevent people from trying to game the system, they started looking at those irrelevant links as a negative symbol, right? And so what you need to do here is you need to look at your link profile. There's great tools like Ahrefs, Majestic SEO, where you can put in your website URL and it will spit out a list of all the links that you have. And if you've got a lot of links, especially if you're not ranking, if you've got a lot of links that are from websites that have nothing to do with your local area, nothing to do with home services, nothing to do with anything relevant, and they're garbage sites where if you go back to that site and it's just a garbage blog with content that was made in order just to link back, those are problematic and things that you should either disavow, you should contact the webmaster of those sites and have them removed. There's a whole process to be done within webmaster tools to tighten this up. But it's something that, I don't want to get too technical with you guys, but something that you should be aware of, and you should have somebody that's paying attention to this on your behalf, because this, I've seen guys that were the 100-pound gorilla in their market, lots of authority, lots of reasons that they should rank, with almost no rankings, ranking on the second, third, fourth page for a lot of their most important keywords. And this was a big driver of that. And the third big change is at this point, as it sits with Google Maps optimization, you really need a true physical address for your plumbing or HVAC business. The days of let's set up a P.O. box, let's set up a UPS store, and claim that as an address so that we can get in maps in our city, are kind of behind us, right? Google wants to serve in the 3-pack real businesses that have real locations, that have real reviews, that a customer could potentially visit. And so, you really need to be thinking about, are you a true company with a true physical address in the city that you're trying to target? Because if not, you're kind of going to be throwing bad money at your SEO, right? If you have an SEO provider that's telling you, oh, you don't have an office and you kind of work from your cell phone, hey, that's cool. Don't worry, we'll create a P.O. box for you and we'll claim the address and we'll get you ranked and just keep paying us. Someday you'll get on the maps, is deceiving you, right? There might be a 1 in 10 chance they could make that happen, but if you don't have a real address in the city that you're trying to rank, right now, it's a very, very hard thing. There's enough legitimate plumbing companies, HVAC companies, home service companies in every city across America that have a real address, that have a commercial facility somebody could visit. that are competing to rank on maps. There's only 3 listings on the first page. If you don't have a real address, it's not going to happen, right? So just kind of own up to that, accept that, either decide you're not going to play the map game and just accept it. Okay, I'm not going to rank in maps. I got to rank organically below the map. I got to rank in paid search. I got to get my client's attention some other way. Either or get a real address, right? Get a real address in the area that you want to rank, and operate out of that facility, build up the citation. I'm going to talk about how to do it. But these are the 3 big changes that you need to be aware of that are probably preventing you from ranking organically that you may or may not realize. But these are big gotchas that you need to pay close attention to. So again, I talked about this, kind of high level. Fact is, couple things I want to drill down on this. Again, has to be unique content. Don't duplicate. Either delete the pages or write unique content for the pages that you have. The other thing I saw a lot of people doing that I hadn't talked about yet from this duplicate content perspective is to set up little microsites. So let's say you're Tom Jones Plumbing. So you've got tomjonesplumbing.com and it's optimized around Denver. Let's just call that Denver. Well, like a lot of these SEO guys, especially like the independents, we're like, oh, let's try and figure out a way to make this easier. Let's set up denverplumbing.com. Let's set up denvertrenchless-sewer-repair.com. Let's set up auroraplumbingservices.com. And they made all these little microsites that they thought were going to rank because they had a keyword-rich domain and they had some content. 2 things on that really you should be aware of. When you do that, you're actually you're diluting the authority of your main site, Tom Jones Plumbing. And in most cases, the guys that do these little microsites are trying to really come up with shortcuts. And so they're duplicating your content. And so in some cases, as we scan our clients' sites, when they come from, where they were to where they're like, okay, we want to hire you guys, help us figure this out. We kind of scan their site. It's like, okay, there's no duplicate content on the site. They've got a pretty clean link profile. Why is it that they're seem to be down a notch? And so we will search the internet and find that there are microsites that have been spawned by big and small companies that have cloned their content. And so you want to look for that because sometimes just like deleting those websites, totally rewriting the content can really fix that problem. So just some things to really pay close attention to on that duplicate content front. On the too many irrelevant, low quality links pointed back to your website, that was a Penguin algorithm. Again, it used to be all about the links. Really what I want to have you guys consider doing, and this is something our team will do for you, is we'll run a link analysis. And with that link analysis, we can see, here's your domain, here are the links you have pointed back to your website. Couple things we look for. Irrelevant links, right? That's kind of obvious. These have nothing to do with your service area. They have nothing to do with the services that you provide. We're going to look for the quality of the site, because again, if it's just a garbage link, it's not helping. It could actually be hurting you. But then we're going to also look at the anchor text, because a lot of times what SEO companies would do is they would anchor text your city plumber or your city AC repair. Like that was the text that somebody would click to get back to the site. And they would use the same anchor text across all of the links that they got for you. And even if they were good links, even if you had good quality links from quality sources, if all of your anchor text is almost identical, that's actually a negative ranking factor. And so what we'll do is we'll look and help you identify, is it a link problem? Is it a duplicate content problem? Is it an anchor text distribution problem? But even if you're doing this on your own, again, there are great tools. I think Christian just posted in comments, Ahrefs, Majestic SEO. There's some free pieces and then there's some paid pieces. The free piece will at least give you kind of an idea. Do I have a link problem? The paid pieces really help you drill down even deeper. And then, of course, not to beat a dead horse on this physical address thing. Bottom line, really the bottom line again is you need a physical address, and it needs to be in the city that you rank. We've tried everything, left, right, sideways, to kind of get around this. It's like, okay, the company is in North Little Rock, Arkansas, right? But their office, but the city they want to rank on maps in is Little Rock, right? Right outside the city. And I'm sure, I know a lot of you guys are dealing with this. You've got your main city and you're right outside the main city. And you're like, I want to rank in that main city, but my office is over here. There's very little you can do using Nearby Now, using, geolocation software, updating your citations, creating, we've done things like creating map links back to the location and away from the location. There's lots of information on this. But as it sits right now, there's very little you can do to rank in the surrounding town. So just be aware, if your office is not, and it doesn't have to be in the center, but if your office or your warehouse that you operate from isn't in the city that you're trying to rank, it's going to be probably not going to happen for you. In all transparency, it's hard enough to rank when you have a location in the city that you operate, let alone you're outside the city, right? So just as an example, we're in Miami, right? So Miami, Florida, our office is in Doral, right? Doral is a sub-city, within 5 minutes of Miami. If we wanted to rank as a plumbing company in Miami for Miami Plumber on maps with an office in Doral, the probability is extremely low. We'd be better served, again, just to say, hey, let's not even bother, right? Let's just deal with the fact we're not going to rank on maps in Miami, or go get a physical office in Miami, place the long-term investment, know that it's going to take time to build the authority, to build the citations, to build the potential to rank in that main city. So I'd love to hear if there's any questions on this, the 3 things that have really changed in the Google algorithm that you need to be aware of. I'm trying to focus on the 80-20 principle here. The 20% that the 20% of things I'm seeing that have the 80% impact on ranking. And these are the 3 that Christian, myself, our team are seeing again and again and again. These 3 key issues, and I think if we can help you solve for those 3, we're going to resolve 80% of the issues. So if you have questions on that, or you want to kind of get some more feedback, let me know. So what else has changed? Old-fashioned SEO, like as we know it, is no longer effective, right? The things that used to be important, like just getting your keyword in the title, just getting your keyword in the H1, just getting your keyword 7 or 8 times on the page, getting a bunch of links, buying PBNs and linking back to your website. Like that stuff is no longer effective. And the post, Panda, Pigeon, Penguin, it's really about user experience optimization, right? And the new SEO approach requires a heavy focus on the user experience. Like Google's actually looking at not only like what keywords the site is optimized for, what links it has pointed back to it, but Google's algorithm is looking at what is the consumer doing once they click on that keyword. And they're tracking millions of keywords and tens of millions of clicks on literally on a daily basis. And they're really paying attention to like when someone types in Denver plumber and they click as a percentage on your page, are they staying there? Are they scrolling down? Are they getting a great user experience? And believe it or not, their engine is that sophisticated. And so you have to be really thinking about that user experience. So what are the new ranking factors? The things that really in 2019 that you need to be paying attention to. Click-through rate is extremely important. Like that means for every time you come up in a search result, what percentage of the time is your listing being clicked versus the other, right? There's some things you can do to really improve your click-through rate, right? By making your title tag a little bit better, by making your meta description read more like a text ad on Google AdWords than just a blurb of keywords, right? When you write that effectively and you've got a great reputation in your local market, your click-through rate is higher. Scroll rate is a big thing that Google's looking at, which is when somebody gets to your page, are they just clicking back? Are they reading content and then scrolling down? So kind of engineering, both from a mobile experience and from a desktop experience, like an expectation that they're going to scroll a little bit, at least a little bit down through your page. Google's looking at that, right? If they're going to get to your page and click on your result and then scroll down, they're having the information that they probably wanted. That's what Google wants more than anything else. And that's what you have to remember when you think SEO is Google wants the consumer to find what they're looking for, right? At the end of the day, they know if they can continue to give the consumer what they're looking for, like a good quality plumbing company, a good quality AC company, the answer to whatever question is that they typed in, if they're finding what they want, they're going to keep going to Google. And if they keep going to Google, they can sell more ads. If they can sell more ads, they can continue to really kind of dominate the world. So their very most important objective in their entire business, outside of making money, is to make sure that the results their engine gives solves problems and answers questions and gives the consumers what they want. So just as you think about your website, as you think about your SEO strategy, remember, give Google what they want. Like, give the customer the answers to the questions that they want. Time on page is a big deal. Like, how long are they staying on the page once they get there? And then bounce rate should be watched really closely. Like, that means somebody gets to your site and they click off, like, immediately. If your bounce rate's in the 90 to 100% range, ideally maybe it's because they just clicked the call, right? That happens sometimes. But you want to kind of engineer your website in a way that people do stay on the page a little bit. And then, of course, still the number of citations you have, that's references of your company's name, address, phone number, the number of reviews that you have, right? Reviews from real customers in your true service area on the major things like Google and Yelp and Angie's List, and relevant quality links, right? So I want to make sure you hear me right when I say it used to be whoever had the most links won. Obviously, that's not the case anymore, but links are still important, right? The companies that have the most relevant, quality, authoritative links, that have the best, most engaging website with relevant content that kind of hit these new ranking factors where people are staying on the page, they're clicking through, they're scrolling down, are really winning the day and going to continue to win the day on into the future. So really, as we drill down on this new SEO formula, really what it's about is figure out what the most important keywords are in your service area based on search volume. So what are your customers actually typing in when they're looking for your services? What's the commercial intent behind those terms? Like, if they search plumber, there's some commercial intents there. If they search drain cleaning, there's some commercial intent there. If they search price of a new air conditioning system, believe it or not, there's some intent there. Like, they're thinking, I need a new air conditioning system. How much is this going to cost me? So it's more than just the head term. It's kind of the diverse long tail set of keywords, looking at the search volume, making sure that you've got content that addresses that content, those searches, and kind of goes deep to answer their question and to solve their concern. So some great tools to figure out, what the most important keywords are. You can use the Google Keyword Tool. That's awesome. Inside Google AdWords, they've kind of limited it a little bit. WordStream is still pretty solid. SpyFu within Google AdWords. Lots of tools that will help you kind of figure out what are people typing when they need our plumbing and HVAC related services. How much search is there associated with that? What's the commercial intent? That takes a little bit more thought. And there's some spreadsheets that you can put in place to kind of rate the commercial intent just based on logic. And then you want to create a great website with unique content to target those keywords, right? And what we've always found, and it's still kind of the case, is we want pages for each of the services that we provide and each of the cities that we serve. So if we're an HVAC company, we've got AC repair, AC installation, maintenance, maybe duct cleaning. We've got heater repair, furnace repair. Maybe we do indoor air quality and everything that goes along with that. If those are our services, then we want a page on our website, a unique page that talks about those services in the context of the city, the main city or the main geographic area that we serve. And then, most plumbing HVAC companies serve between a 25 and 50 mile radius. So using Miami as our example again, we've got Miami, Palmetto Bay, Hialeah, Pinecrest, all of these little cities. We're not going to rank on maps for all of those, right? We're going to rank in the main city where we operate. So we want to make sure we have pages on our website for each one of those cities with unique content so that we have the opportunity to rank for those different key terms. Obviously, we have to optimize for the user experience. We need to optimize the on-page factors. So that's our title tags, our H1 tags, our meta descriptions, our interlinking, all of that fun stuff. And then we have to build authority, right? That's where we're building citations, we're building links, we're building like what it is that Google can look at and say, okay, this is an authoritative company. And we have to track the results, right? We have to be tracking, not just the keyword. We got to be tracking how we rank for various keywords. We have to be tracking the on-page factors. We have to be tracking our backlink profile. We have to be tracking our velocity of new link development. And really, this is what needs to be done on a consistent basis to really build our authority and to win in today's 2019 SEO world. So to kind of help you with this a little bit, our team has done a lot of research. We look at this stuff all of the time, and we've kind of determined the most commonly highest commercial intent keywords for plumbing and for HVAC. And so, Christian, if you could just post these in the chat box. So within plumbing, you've got plumber, plumbing, plumbers, water heater repair, bathroom remodeling, tankless water heaters, leak detection, drain cleaning, hydrojetting, backflow testing. So as you think about it, there's lots of different things people are typing in. They have different varying, they have varying commercial intent, but we want to rank for this stuff, right? And so the first piece is to understand what those keywords are, and then we can build our content strategy around it. So if you want to download the list of keywords for plumbing, you just go to plumberseo.net/plumbing-keywords. There, just ask for your name and email, and you can download this complete list. And we actually even provide you kind of like a little bit of a how-to on how to map the content on your website for those keywords. And then from an air conditioning perspective, we get air conditioning, air conditioners, AC repair, heat pump, air conditioning unit, portable air conditioners, right? So there's a lot of different key terms that you may not have even thought about that people are typing. So if you want to download the HVAC list, you can go to hvacSEO.net/keywords. Again, you can download that. Now, the one thing I do want to point out on this list is in front of it, I've got your city, right? So it's really important that you just don't think, okay, I'm going to target plumber and plumbers and plumbing company and leak detection, and Google's going to magically map to my geographic area. For any of these keywords, what you want to do is think about what's my main city, Miami, what's the different keywords, so Miami plumber, Miami plumbers, Miami water heater repair, Miami drain cleaning, right? And so what we call it, that's called geoconcatenation, combining the city that you serve with the services that you provide and the keywords that you're targeting. So you want to take my list and then you want to combine it with these services. And from there, you want to map out your content strategy. So how do we map our website so we've got pages for all of these different keywords? And then how do we build our authority so that we're ranking organically for all of this stuff? So hopefully that helps. Would love to see like a thumbs up or a thank you for sharing or something like that in comments if you think it's useful that we're giving you this, this list of the most commonly searched plumbing and HVAC related keywords. Dan says awesome. Okay, great. Thanks, Dan. Dominic is very helpful. You guys are the best. Naomi, thanks. JW says great info. Okay, great. Awesome. All right, so now we've thought through, we kind of got a list of the most commonly searched keywords, the keywords with the highest commercial intent. So now we got to optimize the website, right? And so we want to make sure we focus on a strong website with good content and a user experience. So we're really focused on that user experience, not just the SEO, not just the keywords, not just the meta descriptions. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing is we want to leverage multimedia to improve time on page. So we got a page for each of the different services. We want to make sure that our title tag and our meta description is written in a way that's compelling, that's more like selling the click than just regurgitating the keyword. And then once we get them on the page, because our click-through rate is high, we want to make sure that they stay and they have a good experience and they scroll down. One thing we found that really help with this is to have a video. Hey, if you're on this page, you're probably having an issue with your drains. you come to the right place. Most common issues people have with drains are this, that, and the other, right? It's just some percentage of the people that get to the page click it and play it, and they stay another 5, 10, 20, 40 seconds, and that helps with your time on page. The other thing that helps is making sure you've got some imagery on your site. And what we found is imagery, meaning pictures of the team, pictures of yourself, pictures of the real people involved in the business. So not a picture of like a really technical AC unit, not a picture of just a blind truck, but real pictures. People resonate with real people. When they're thinking about hiring a service provider, they want to deal with like people they can know, like, and trust and feel like are real. So having real authentic imagery on each of the pages of your site will help with that user experience. From there, you want to make sure you have pages for each of those services, right? Pages for each of the cities that we provide. Again, when we get into these city pages, I usually think the target is something like 10 to 15 city pages. So I'm not saying if you're in Long Island, you create a page for all 100 of the little boroughs in Long Island. That would be ridiculous, right? And a lot of those have low population. What I am saying is try and pick the top 10 to 15 cities in your 50-mile radius. The ones that have, decent population, right? 10, 20, 50,000 people that have decent demographics. So think about it, like just because there's people doesn't mean they're necessarily the people you want to serve. So is it a relatively affluent area? Do they have the propensity to invest at the level you need them to invest in your plumbing and HVAC related services? And then with that in mind, you kind of pick your top 10 to 15, you create unique content that's like really written for that city, and that, that suite of services that you provide has to be unique, right? And then what we like to do is use Nearby Now, which is a heat mapping tool, to pass unique content to those city pages, so that as your technicians do a job in the surrounding towns, whether it's through an integration like Service Titan or some other platform, like where a job is completed, Nearby Now grabs the location information, grabs the description of the job, and then through short code, pushes that content automatically to the page. That works really well. Or the technicians have an app on their phone, they check in at the location, they type a brief description. We found that helps to create unique geo-modified content for those city pages, which make those city pages have a fighting chance of ranking. You get unique content, it's properly optimized, and you've got great geo-modified information flowing in. So it's an active page, ideally with 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 posts on a daily basis. And so the name of that tool, if you don't mind, Christian, is called Nearby Now. Great tool. Lots of ways to use integrations with the newer CRMs and dispatching platforms to automate this. And the clients that are getting the best results now are really automating it, right? It was a long time we tried to fight, like, look, check in on the phone, have your technicians type a brief description. And where we got pushback was, that's another thing our techs have to do. They're already busy. They've already got checklists. They're already focused on maximizing the ticket. Trying to tell them now to check in on their phone, that's another hurdle. And so our big challenge was, trying to get these guys to do it, despite knowing the value, despite knowing how effective it could be. So what really has helped is if we can make it an automatic process where the job is dispatched through Service Titan or a couple other there's other platforms that do this, and that heat map data is automatically pushed. So there's no reliance on the tech to do it. That's really a great play. Again, unique content on every page of your website. Obviously, get our keywords in the title tag, the H1 tag. So we take our keyword list, right? We have it mapped on a spreadsheet, let's just say. We've got 30 keywords we're targeting. Then we got to think, like, how do we wordsmith those keywords into the title tag, which is the title at the very top of the page, and wordsmith it in a way that isn't just Denver plumber, but is like Denver plumber, your trusted plumbing company in Denver, Colorado, right? So that it almost is written as, we've got our keywords, but it's also written from a copy perspective that somebody would want to click. And the same thing with the H1, same thing with the content throughout the page. Write a meta description, which, you know, all of the SEO books that you read will tell you you want a meta description, but it's really not an SEO factor. It's not really that big of a deal. You know, don't spend too much time on it because Google doesn't look at it for SEO, like keyword matching. But if we kind of correlate this back to the new SEO formula with the conversion rate optimization being the most important thing, what you want to do is write a great meta description that sells the click. So don't sleep on the meta description. You know, it is important that there's some thought that goes into what those meta descriptions say. And then having our name, address, phone number in the footer file. That way, it's clear to Google, okay, this is the company. This is their name, address, phone number. Use some micro format data to tie that data back. And then blog on a consistent basis. Build authority. Build relevant content to position yourself as the go-to within your service area. So I want to pull up a live example. One of the companies we work with is Schuler Service. They're based in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And so we kind of talked through the new SEO formula. Now I kind of want to show you in the real world what that looks like. And what I want to encourage you to do is put on your thinking cap. Now you've been educated at least on the 20%, right, of how this stuff works. Put on your thinking cap and think about how this applies. So let's just type in. I'm going to type in Allentown Plumber, and you can see, this company's playing in the local service ads now. We've got them up number one on the map listings, and they're also the first organic listing to come in play. So let's kind of unpack what the strategy is, how you make this happen. So let's just pull up their website. We're still focused on the on-page factors here. So I talked about a couple things. I talked about thinking about the user experience and trying to draw people in. And a great way to do that is by leveraging multimedia. So here we've got a picture of their team, right? We've got read reviews, meet Schuler Service. That's one of the first things people want to do when they get to a page is find out, like, is this legit? Can these guys be trusted, right? So this is like two things that can draw someone deeper into the page. We've got the opportunity to chat that came up right in the bottom left-hand corner. And it kind of invites you to scroll down, right? You've got the information you need to make a buying decision above the fold, but it does invite you to scroll down and say, okay, like, you're Allentown Plumber, heating, plumbing, electrical. We've got a video we can play, right? Multimedia, and a lot of content without being overly text saturated that pulls you in, right? So that's the first thing, that user experience, like kind of getting people to go deeper into the page, deeper into the site. We've got our title tag, Allentown Plumber, Schuler Services, PA, plumbing contractor. We've got our keywords there. We've got it in the H1 tag. We've got a lot of great unique content as we scroll through the page, right? So that's the first thing we're looking for. The second is making sure we've got pages for each of the services, pages for each of the cities that they operate in. So let's look at services, right? So Schuler Services does plumbing, emergency plumbing, faucet repair, clogged toilets, everything in between. So let's just look at drain cleaning. So we've got pages on the site for each one of those services, right? Again, with a unique video talking to that particular service and then unique content throughout the page. So we want to give Google the information that their customers are looking for. So we want pages just like this for each of the services that we want to rank for. Like Allentown drain cleaning. And there you go. It takes you right into the drain cleaning section on the site. So you want to have pages for each of the services, and then you also want to create pages for each of the cities that they operate in. So we come over here, they've gone a little bit wider, like they want to serve a wider area, but we've got Bethlehem and Macungie and Easton and Whitehall and Emmaus, right? And so what we want to do is create pages for each of those cities that they operate in, right? So we've got Bethlehem Plumber, right? Bethlehem Plumber Plumbing, unique content for each of that stuff. And then this is nearby now, where new unique check-in data is flowing into the page. So we can see a day ago, they checked out a dishwasher. 2 days ago, they did a disposal repair. And this is literally within Bethlehem, right? And so, without beating a dead horse, just want to kind of give you the high level, right? We've got the main service pages and the main site targeting Allentown, right? We've got pages for each of the different services that we offer. And then we've got city pages targeting the surrounding cities that they serve with unique content for each one of those. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know, like real quick, I think we have time. If somebody wants to volunteer their site, hey, Josh, pull up my site. And I think sometimes it's really good to get a live example that's kind of on the fly that we can pull up and kind of say, okay, what if you change this? What if you change that? So while you guys volunteer your site, I'm just going to kind of show you, again, as an example. So we've looked at their site. We looked at the on-page factors. They're ranking for a vast majority of the plumbing related keywords in and around Allentown. Here's a quick look at their results. So 479 calls directly via the internet. And so that's on a $7,800 expense. That's the pay-per-click and management fees. If we divide that out, $16.43 per lead. And 178 of those came from organic, 91 came from Google Maps. So a full 269 of their leads coming directly from organic search. So, I mean, this stuff works. When you apply it correctly, it can have a great impact on the lead flow that you get via the internet. So I've got a couple people that are volunteering. I think we can do like 1 or 2. So let's just pull up. And again, I have not looked at these sites. I don't know. Really, I want this more than anything else to be an opportunity for you to kind of take what you've learned and say, okay, how does this apply? And can I look at another person's site and see what I would need to change? Because if you can, then you can probably look at it for yourself and say, okay, here's what I need to change on my site. Here's what I think needs to be improved. And again, this is just the on-page part, right? There's a whole nother part, which is the off-page, which is really what drives positioning. But you can't drive positioning if your on-page isn't set up correctly. All right, so I've pulled up Smith & Sons Plumbing in Frisco. This is Rick Smith. Thank you for volunteering your site. So let's just kind of, like real quick, scroll up and down. So it says Plumbing, Frisco, Texas, Smith & Sons Plumbing. So we do have the service. We do have the geo modifier, Frisco. Only thing I would say here is that we're using plumbing. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but up here in the top, this is the title tag. It's one of the key things Google looks at to see what the page is about. We've got plumbing-Frisco-Texas, and then we've got Smith & Son Plumbing. So we're using plumbing twice. So plumbing at the beginning, plumbing at the end. We know that there are some different variations of the keyword plumbing that are pretty important. Plumber, plumbers. So, when I find a company that their name is like Smith & Sons Plumbing, I'd rather have like Frisco Plumbers, that we've kind of hit the plumber and plumbers geo modifier, and then Smith & Sons Plumbing. Just a mild thing, but it might give you the ability to kind of diversify the keyword that title tag is hitting. Here's our H1. It says plumbing specialist in Frisco, Texas. Okay. We definitely have plumbing in Frisco. So that's a check in your favor. Are there a couple ways you might be able to wordsmith the keywords in this H1? And this is what I'm saying when I say H1, potentially, right? Something to pay attention to. From a user experience perspective, this is pretty good, right? We've got the ability to schedule an appointment and or potentially chat maybe down here, or maybe this is just straight to schedule. So I can see how that would kind of pull me into the site. This is a House Call Pro integration straight to your booking system. Good call. The imagery here, when I say use multimedia, this is multimedia, but the only thing is it's very generic. So we've got a picture of a flag, and then we've got a picture of a wrench, and then we've got a picture of like a drain. I'd much rather this be real people. Ideally, your guys, yourself, your family, like that way they get to know, like, trust. It just kind of has a different feeling to it. We've got, all in all, this is pretty good, right? We've got the keyword in the title on the H1. We've got a reason to scroll down. Seems to me like a lot of technical jargon. So this is very heavy SEO'd, like SEO'd in that it's like Frisco, Texas, Frisco, Texas, Frisco, Texas. This page was written for search engines 5-6 years ago, as opposed to written for the consumer, which wants to see, are you going to show up on time? Are you going to be professional? Are you going to stand behind your word? Right. And so I think from a user experience perspective, if you could kind of, keep your keywords in there without feeling too spammy, keep your keywords in there, kind of diversify the Frisco, Texas to the front, to the back, leveraging some of these different, permutations of the keyword, it might work a little bit better. And it would definitely create a better user experience. So that's just on the homepage. If, we do have our address, name, phone number down here in the footer, which is great. We kind of talk about the cities that we serve. Let's just pull up the services. So we've got slab leak repair, leak detection, general plumbing, hot waters, and drain cleaning. So the main services are being represented. I think you could go a little bit deeper and have a little bit more of these, but let's just go hot water. So we've got hot water heaters, Frisco, Smith & Sons Plumbing. I don't think you need your name in the title for all of the service pages. Like, I keep the name in the title on the home page, and then when it comes to the drain cleaning page, the water heater page, I don't really think it's necessary to have the name up in that title. But from a foundational perspective, we have Frisco, Texas water heaters, and then we've got hot water heaters in Frisco, Texas. Again, very SEO'd. We've got the keywords there, but it could be written more from a consumer perspective. And this needs more content, right? We've got hot water heaters in Frisco, nothing worse, very, very basic. This needs a little bit more meat and potatoes to it. And I would say that's probably the case for gas leak detection, same thing. So Rick, is this helpful at all kind of to see how you can improve this, and hopefully for the rest of you as well? Looking at it from an SEO optimization perspective, we've got the keyword, we've got a couple pages. One thing I'm thinking is being missed here is city pages, so McKinney and Plano and Little Elm and the Colony. If you want to rank in those surrounding cities and surrounding towns, we should have a hyperlinked page that uniquely talks about that and has potentially that nearby now short code that can pass geo-modified content into the page. Rick, helpful? Good, awesome. I'd love to do more of these. We're already almost about an hour in. I've got some more stuff I want to cover, but hopefully that was helpful. Let me know in comments, was it helpful to see a real example of this kind of off the fly? Kind of helps maybe open your eyes a little bit to what I'm talking about when I say title tag, H1 tag, pages for the cities, pages for the services. Hopefully that makes a little sense. Okay, Naomi says, yes, good stuff. Dan says for sure. Okay, great, awesome. So that's the on-page piece. I'm going to show one more quick example of this. So Laney's is a company we work with in Fargo, North Dakota. I'm just going to pull up their website real quick. So I typed in Fargo ND Plumber. We can type Fargo Plumber, Fargo Plumbing, Fargo Plumbing Services. They rank very well above the fold in the top 3 pack. And I'll just kind of quickly hit the high points without going nearly as in depth. So we've got plumbing, heating, cooling. So they're more of a full service company in Fargo, North Dakota. We've got that, unique multimedia that kind of pulls you in, kind of draws you to scroll down. We've got, 24-hour plumbing and HVAC Fargo, North Dakota, unique content. We've got pages for each of the services, right? So there's pages for all this stuff. And then we've got pages for the cities that they serve in and around their service area. And so that's why the site ranks as well as it does. I'm going to close that so that little boop, boop, boop doesn't keep hitting us. But so just another example of what happens when you can get your SEO going. Here's Fargo, North Dakota. I think it's 150 or so population, 150,000 population, 930 leads. All of these come from organic. So they do a lot of branding as well, but these calls for them come from they come from organic search. They come from Google Maps. They come from web forms from the organic search. So it really, really can drive a lot of leads and a lot of opportunity for you. So we talked about the on-page part, right? We have to have pages for our services, pages for our cities, title tag, H1 tag, unique content, really think about the user experience. So the good news is you kind of get that now. The bad news is the on-page is only about 20 to 30% of the battle, right? The other 80% of the battle is building your authority, building your relevance, which really comes to off-page optimization. And so a couple things you can do, obviously make sure you claim and fully optimize your Google My Business listing. You want to have lots of citations, so that's web references, being in the online directory services across the web. You want to build up online reviews. Again, I'm focused on the 20% of things you can do that will drive 80% of the results. These things really make the difference. Build up your online reviews. There's lots of great tools for this. We love Nearby Now and Bird Eye. So Nearby Now is that app you check in, and then the customer can get a request for review, and all I have to do is click in and write a review. Don't get hung up on the tool, right? There's lots of other tools, but the key is make sure you have something going out after every service call, thanking the customer and asking them to take a minute to share their feedback on a public review site. When you do that and you automate it, you build up lots of reviews. And so there's lots of tools. Nearby Now, Bird Eye, Review Buzz, Customer Lobby, Podium is one of the newer ones that's making a big splash. And then you have to build your authority, right? You have to build links and citations from other websites across the web. And so, those are the things you need to be doing from an off-page optimization perspective. I'm going to breeze a little bit on how to get ranked on Google Maps. Next month, we'll be going deep on Google Maps and how to get ranked on the 3-pack. But really high level, one of the key really is claim your Google My Business listing. Make sure that there's consistency in your name, address, phone number. Like you've got it fully fleshed out, and you do that at google.com/mybusiness. You've got lots of citations, so you get yourself into all of the major online directories and concentrate on having consistency of your name, address, and phone number, and then build up your online reviews. Like that really is the key to getting ranked in the 3-pack. Now, next month, I'm going to go deeper into like the specifics on that stuff. So be sure to kind of keep your inbox open and make sure you jump on that session when we get to it. But from a high level, that's the key. The other key is to build links, right? And I could talk a long time about this, but I find that when we get into the discussion about link building, eyes glaze over. We've already been going about an hour. I'll just kind of keep it brief. Don't think of links in terms of, buying stuff from India or doing private blog networks. Like, think about the low-hanging fruit. That means like you're part of groups and associations, affiliate organizations that you refer business to. This little wheel kind of can give you the low-hanging fruit opportunities. Like, so if you're a member of organizations like Nexstar and PHCC and Service Roundtable, a lot of times they have two opportunities for you. They've got a directory where they list their members publicly. When you're in there, that can create a quality link. Sometimes they'll let you submit content for their public blog. And so if you've got something new, innovative, cutting edge, even if it has nothing to do with your service, but it's more about how you operate your business, if you can get them to interview you or get them to publish an article about you, that's a great way to build links. Look at the companies you refer business to, damage restoration companies, plumbing companies, electrical companies. If you refer business to them, you could potentially have a resources section on your site where you link to them and they link back to you. It's like, hey, here's the quality contractors we recommend. If you've got a great provider that's pretty well established in your local market, this isn't a link exchange, which is a no-no. It's just a legitimate, we do business with them. We recommend our clients do business with them. Great way to cross-pollinate your authority. Obviously, being active in social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, posting content about your specific services and then linking back to those specific pages on your site can be a great place. I mean, this is some low-hanging fruit. Definitely think about the easy opportunities that you can get to get links from other websites back to your website. But one of my favorites is really what we call competitive link acquisition. And that's looking at the guys that are ranking on page 1 for the keywords that you're not, or ranking in the top spots for the keywords that you're not. They're there for a reason. Like, they're there because they've got a great website with good on-page optimization. They've got some quality links potentially that you don't. And so again, using tools like Ahrefs and Majestic SEO, you can put in your competitor's website and then have a link report come back and then see, okay, what links do they have that we don't? And this is a tedious process. There's no push button shortcut for it, but you can chip away and get highly relevant, highly quality links one at a time, the ones that your top competitors have that you don't. And if you did everything else we've talked about in this session, get the on-page optimization in place, make sure that you got pages for your different services, make sure that you've got yourself added to the major online directories, you've kind of looked at the low-hanging fruit opportunities, you're going to be ranking pretty strong. You're going to have a pretty good authority. And then, you just start chipping away at a couple really good high-quality links that your competitors have that you don't on a monthly basis. This is how, over time, our clients get to the top of the search results, page one results for a lion's share of their keywords, and how they're able to generate hundreds of calls every single month. So that's kind of in summary here. Set up a website with great pages for the services, create the geo-modified content, get into the titles and the H1s, unique content for every page, make sure you're leveraging multimedia to reduce the bounce rate and keep people on page, drive online reviews, use great tools that can automate that review request and acquisition process, build citations, update content on a consistent basis, build links, and this is where having a quality search engine optimization company like ours that can kind of help you look at the big picture, look at the things that might be holding you back, and really help you plug the gaps. Like get the website right, get the content right, clean up the backlink profile, and really build a good, strong foundation that can serve you well into the future. And then, of course, leverage paid search. Like I'm all for having a diversified marketing strategy. In a couple months, we're going to be doing a webinar just like this on how to leverage paid search to maximize your lead flow. When you're doing paid search in SEO, you get access to even better keyword data, and you can find pockets of high relevant, high commercial intent keywords that you can be tapping into. So hopefully this gave you some good insights and some good information on like how do you look at your website, how do you identify what's changing, and how do you make sure you've got a great SEO strategy to dominate going into the future. I would like to offer you the opportunity to take a free SEO review. And like what we'll do with that is we'll do an analysis of your online visibility. We'll create a custom list of keywords, the most important keywords for your particular business in the area that you serve. We'll run a ranking report that will show you exactly where you rank on Google and Yahoo and Bing. I really feel like awareness precedes change, right? You can't change anything or improve anything if you're not aware either if things are good or bad. And so that's where we'll start, is just kind of get a sense, are you ranking for the most important keywords in your service area in the surrounding cities? If yes, great. Maybe you don't even need to think about that. Maybe it's more about how do you optimize the website for conversion. If you're not, well, then that's a great opportunity. That means, hey, let's figure out why the website doesn't rank. Let's figure out how we can build the authority to move you to the position that you need to be. We'll do an analysis of the online directories that you're in. Like, is there inconsistency that might be slowing you down? An analysis of your reviews and your online reputation, your social presence, and how well your website's built to convert. So, I mean, we really go deep on this. This is something that takes time, takes energy, is really high value. We're willing to offer it to you completely free of charge. So all you have to do is give us a call at 866-610-4647 or go to plumberseo.net/schedule. That's plumberseo.net/schedule. We'll get some information about your company, kind of where you're based. And the only caveat to this, and I have to say it because now it's becoming more of an issue than ever, is we only work with one plumbing company in each market. Like we've taken a hard stance that, we want to be exclusive to our clients. And we got clients that we serve that we really want to give you 110%, help you dominate. And so we only work with one in each major market. And so if for some reason your area is already taken, it's not going to be a good use of our time or yours to do that. So just kind of, don't be offended. It's not that we don't like you. It's not that we don't want the opportunity. It's just that, we've got a lot of clients in major markets. And so there's certain markets that are already taken. So that's it. Give us a call at 866-610-4647. We would love the opportunity to do a review for you, help you identify if there's room for improvement. And if so, potentially work with you and really implement these strategies on your behalf. So go to plumberseo.net/schedule, fill out your details. If the market's already taken, we'll let you know right away. If it's not, we'll do the analysis. We'll sit down with you and we'll show you exactly, how it is. Either things are great or there's room for improvement. If there's room for improvement, we'll talk to you about how we can help. That's a wrap. That's the new SEO formula. You've got the latest information, the latest changes, our latest strategy on how to really drive your online rankings, your online results. It's been an honor to serve you today. Thank you so much for your time. Let us know how we can help. Let us know how we can serve you, and have an amazing weekend.